What is up, guys? My name is Samir Al-Jarbou, and today I want to be talking to you about how smartphone can affect your well-being in terms of positive affect, negative affect, and your life satisfaction. So to get started with, I want to talk to you about how you could be using your phone passively and actively. So an active user would basically be a person who would be taking videos and pictures of themselves, constantly playing games, being on apps and social media, you know that they're on their phone. While a passive looker, a passive user would actually be somebody who just looks into his phone whenever they wake up, or just constantly whenever they're out and about, and then they have the urge to be, using their phone, so they turn it on, look at the lock screen, and just can't constantly put it down, or just like constantly just not even knowing they're using it. So me and a team were trying to find out this research in using this like smartphones and what effects would they have. So we conducted two studies trying to figure out what effects does the smartphone have. And on our first study, we just wanted to see the relationship between the active and passive smartphone use, and how does it affect your negative emotion, your positive emotions, and your life satisfaction. So I would like to start by saying that I believe that if we using a smartphone use, it will have some sort of effect inside of you from the way you use it. It will be a higher negative affect using the smartphone use. So how we conducted the study is we had our research team, us and about 20 other people, send out through social media and emails and such a survey on Qualtrics, talking about their life satisfaction, I guess you can say. What have they their life, is their life good? How often do you use your smartphone, etc., etc. We started off with 489 participants who responded to the survey. However, we had limitations in terms of people who doesn't really speak English fluently. We cannot add them to this because they really would not understand the questions of what we were asking. So we ended up cutting it down to 356 participants in terms of our final survey thing. So what we ended up figuring out in our study was that positive affect smartphone use it was really positive correlated with the negative emotion, where R was equal to 353. We had a power, P of 0.001. We conducted that it was very a negative effect towards it. We can also see there was also a weak positive correlation between passive smartphone use and negative emotion affect. We also saw a correlation between active smartphone use and negative emotional affect. There was a weak, but it was still positive. We also conducted a second study as well. The second study was conducted on our own selves, where we had to basically stop using our smartphones for a whole day, for 24 hours. We started off by answering a questionnaire, and then we cut off our phones for one whole day, and we put up limitations with it. We're saying if there's a sense of emergency, or if there's a sense of work-related issues, or just even excuse me, because I'm trying to figure this one out. Sense of work, emergency, or for example, alarms we need to be set in the morning in order to wake up. You were allowed to use your smartphone. However, other than that, you weren't allowed. We started off with 21 participants. However, those participants ended up not. 5 of them ended up using their smartphone in the middle of that study. So we ended up discluding them from our study. So we ended up leaving with about 13-ish. Some of them didn't answer the other question. So what we found out in that study, we put 2 tests to it. We wanted the first test with no manipulation to smartphone usage, and the second one to be manipulated to smartphone, which is the reason why we didn't use a phone for 24 hours. We want to see the effect of smartphone use on not using smartphones on our participants, including i.e. us, basically. The result between the test 1 and test 2, so the first test, the survey, and the second test, the not using a smartphone, then answering a survey, we found a Cohen's D of 0.93, T score of 3.51. We found out that this is the first test, a very negative outcome using a smartphone. When we found out after the whole thing, we saw a large positive effect from the Cohen's D, and we saw as well basically a better result of the positive affect increasing from not using a smartphone use, your life satisfaction increasing, and the negative affect decreasing. So we found all the studies, and we came up with the idea that people really need to do the study more for in the future wise, that it would end up that they need more time than just 24 hours to see the effect of what smartphones can do, So it would be definitely a really good idea to use in the future. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video about smartphones and what it can do to you. Don't be passive with your phone. Just know what you're using, know your limitations with it. Sleep deprivation is a really bad thing with your phone. Just be wary and have a good day. Peace.